Hi guys, I'm Alexmo, and there are tons of protagonists in the Pokemon games. These are characters like Red, Ethan, May, and more. And basically these are the characters you play as, and some of these characters are in the anime, mainly May, Dawn, Serena, and some others. So what if every in-game protagonist appeared in the Pokemon anime? That's going to be what I'm discussing today, so I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to touch on are protagonists that are already in the anime, and I'm going to start with Red, who is notably Ash Ketchum. Now, I know Ash and Red aren't the exact same, but Ash is inspired by Red, so I think it's safe to assume that Ash is the Red of the anime. And technically, Ash is also Callum, HILBERT, ELIO, all of these characters, because Ash traveled in their regions and basically replaced them. But I'm only going to be counting Ash as Red for the sake of this video. Next up are Chris and Ethan, who appeared in the anime in a special as Marina and Jimmy respectively. This is a pretty obscure special called The Legend of Thunder, but it's pretty good. I definitely recommend checking it out. Sticking with Johto is Lyra, who appeared in the Diamond and Pearl series. Next up are Brendan and Lucas, who appeared in cameos in movies. Now, these were very brief cameos, so if you don't want to count these, let's just say maybe they could appear and battle Ash in the World Championships, but these characters did appear very briefly in the anime, so I'm going to count them as characters that have already appeared. Of course, there's May, Dawn, and Serena, who all appeared as traveling companions. I'm sure these are the most obvious. If you didn't know anyone else in this list was in the anime, I'm sure you knew these three were. And that's all of the game protagonists that have appeared in the anime so far, so now it's time to think of the other game protagonists and theorize how they could appear in the anime. And starting off first is Leaf, who is the protagonist from Fire Red and Leaf Green. My bro Kuro made an amazing video explaining how Leaf would be an amazing rival for Go, so go check that video out. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description. So for Leaf, I think should be a great rival for Go. Now for the other characters on this list, I'm going to be creating my own concepts, but I thought Kuro's video was so good that I figured I would share it with you guys. Alright, so next up on the list is HILBERT, and HILBERT was the protagonist of the games Pokemon Black and White, and as we know, the Black and White anime is regarded as one of the worst series because it kind of reset Ash's character. So what if instead of resetting Ash's character, they made HILBERT the protagonist of the Black and White anime? Think about it, he would be a new trainer, so it could kind of work out. Alright, so next up is HILDA, and if HILDA was in the anime, I think she would work as a female traveling companion similar to Dawn, May, and Serena, and would probably replace Iris in the Black and White anime. Now, I'm not saying I want Iris to be replaced, I actually really like Iris' character, but if HILDA was in the anime, I think she would have replaced Iris. As for her goal, I think she could take on the Pokemon musicals, which would probably be kind of similar to contests. Now, these were in like one episode of the anime, I think, so if HILDA was a traveling companion, she could definitely flesh these out. So next up is Nate, and if Nate was in the anime, I think they would take some inspiration from his manga counterpart, who is Blake, and Blake in the manga works for the International Police and helps out Looker. So if Looker were to ever reappear in the anime, which I really think he will, then Blake could be maybe a sidekick of his and work with him. And finally for the Black and White characters is Rosa, and for Rosa in the anime I couldn't think of anything too special, so I thought maybe she could introduce the Pokemon World Tournament into the anime. Now the World Tournament is different from the World Championships. I guess it's more like a league tournament where a bunch of trainers from around the world come and battle, so this could probably be a one-off tournament where there are just a bunch of strong trainers that come. Maybe they're coming to raise their rank in the World Championships. Ash and Rosa could have a battle. Ash would probably bring back some of the Unova Pokemon, and hopefully Ash would be able to beat her. Alright, so now it's time for X and Y, and we're starting with Callum. And Callum doesn't really do much, so I was having a hard time finding some inspiration for him. So I looked around the internet and found one of the most obscure manga ever. So this is a manga called Let's Play the Pokemon Card Game X and Y, and the main character is based off of Callum, and there's not a lot of information about this manga, but I was able to find out one cool fact about it. And that fact is that Callum's manga counterpart from this manga actually has a Break Zoroark, and if you don't know what Break Evolution is, it's basically a card game version of Mega Evolution, where the Pokemon turns gold and gets some other moves. So if Break Evolution was ever going to be added to the anime, which I doubt it will ever be, but if Break Evolution is ever in the anime, then maybe Callum could come introduce it with his Zoro arc. Alright, next up is Alola, and I'm gonna start with Selene, and I think if Selene was in the anime, she would probably make a good traveling companion for if the Sun and Moon anime was more of a traveling series. As we know, the Sun and Moon anime deviated from the standard formula and wasn't a traveling series, but if it was, I could see Selene being the main traveling companion. As for her goal, maybe she would want to do something like take on a bunch of battle royals. Now, that's just the first thing that came to my mind, and I do have some other ideas for what her goal could be, but I'm going to be saving that for a future video series, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so next up is ELIO, and I think if ELIO were in the anime, he might challenge Ash for the title of Alola Champion. So as we know in the Pokemon games, there are these things called title defense battles, which is when some other characters from that region come and battle you from Champion. And this is really only a thing in the Alola region, so since ELIO is the protagonist of the Alola games, I could see him doing it. Alright, so next up are Chase and Elaine, who are the protagonists from the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games, and the whole thing with these games are that their partner Pokemon do not want to evolve. But I don't really care, so for the sake of this video, I'm going to be evolving their partner Pokemon into Raichu and Jolteon respectively, because those are the Pokemon that their rival Trace evolves them into when Trace has those partners. For Chase and his Raichu, I could see maybe another Pikachu and Goliath episode where Pikachu has to battle a Raichu, its evolved form, and maybe loses and has to redo it, and this type of episode has kind of been done to death, but Journeys does have some reused concepts from older episodes, so I could see this episode happening. For Elaine, I could see her having a similar role to Kairi from episode 63, and basically Kairi, in that episode, Koharu's Eevee met his Vaporeon and got to learn a bit about its evolved form. So for Elaine, I could see Koharu's Eevee meeting her Jolteon and getting to learn about Jolteon. Alright, next up we have the Sword and Shield characters, and for Gloria, I'm going to be taking some inspiration from her manga counterpart, who has a very long name that I don't want to say because I'll probably mess it up, so I'll just be calling her Gloria. So in the manga, Gloria loses some of her Pokemon and has to find them again throughout the series, so maybe Gloria could appear as like a character of the day where Ash and Go and Koharu have to help her find her lost Pokemon, and then maybe Ash could have a Pokemon World Championships battle with her, and for her team I just chose some Pokemon that she has in the manga. Alright, so next up is Victor, who I'm also going to be taking inspiration from his manga counterpart, and in the manga he happens to have a Sirfetch'd and maintains its leak and makes sure its leak is always in perfect condition, as that's kind of what he likes to do in the manga. Maybe there could be an episode where Ash's Sirfetch'd's leak breaks and then Victor comes in and helps repair it, like the Breaks episode from X and Y. And then they could have a Sirfetch'd battle where Ash's Sirfetch'd proves that it's the superior member of its species. And that's about it for Pokemon protagonists that could be in the anime, unless you want me to talk about the guy from Magikarp Jump or something. But other than that, that's about it for this video, so tell me in the comments which ones you liked, and tell me what you think these protagonists would do if they were in the anime, because I want to hear your opinions. And other than that, if you like this video, you can like, subscribe, etc. And I hope to see you in my next video, because I have a really cool series planned that I bet you will all enjoy. So I'll see you in the next video.